The main reason is because it's not going to help. That is basically the reason. The CPI has absolutely no doubt in our public positions towards the PFI that we believe that this is an organization which holds extremist views. It has indulged in violent activities against those who it considers its opponents. And this is in the public domain. And the CPIM is a party, and particularly in Kerala, where we have been in confrontation with the forces of fundamentalism of various hues, we have taken a very strong position against the PFI. And we believe that it is essential to fight the politics of the PFI by taking strong administrative action within the legal framework of India, and also politically to isolate the PFI from those sections it wants to inject with the virus of its extremist views. However, experience in India has shown that a ban on such organizations has never been very helpful. I mean, we have banned the RSS in the past. There's been a ban on the Maoists, but there are always avenues and ways in which activities resume. Now in India, there are so many extremist organizations. We have seen this Sanatan Sanstha, that extremist organization responsible for killing so many intellectuals. Also in Karnataka, we have seen that Jan Jagran Samiti, similarly placed as far as extremist activities are concerned. And we have seen retaliatory killings between the PFI and the RSS in Kerala, which is really try to deeply negate the efforts of secular forces for a peaceful, harmonious state. Now, how is this thing to be dealt with? That is the issue here. And we believe that strict administrative action is required against any such violent activity, and at the same time, a political campaign against the extremist views of such organizations is very necessary. But a ban under UAPA itself, a black law, it's not going to help. It's going to push such elements underground. It won't help. That is why we oppose it, because it won't help the purpose. The purpose to fight extremism, the purpose to fight such political outfits. By banning them, it's not going to help.
Ma'am, one would argue that it is the job of the government to quell violent activities by extremist organizations that you have said PFI is. You agree with that? So they're using the tools in their arsenal, and one of them happens to be under the UAPA. Why should they not be doing their job?
It's a law which we have opposed. We have opposed it then at the time of its legislation. We oppose it now. In fact, we have asked for the scrapping of the UAPA because, as we know, the UAPA has been very wrongly used or misused, and particularly by the government in power. But I'm not going into a discussion on the UAPA now. The point that you have made, that is it or is it not the responsibility of the government to quell such violent activities? Absolutely. There is absolutely no doubt about it. It is the responsibility of governments, both at the center and of the state, without any fear or favor, and without any discrimination, or with any ulterior political motive, to strongly deal with all organizations which, as the notification of the government says, do not have any respect for constitutional authority. Now, these are the words which have been used in the notification by the government of India in banning the PFI. My point is, we do have laws in this country we have strict laws in this country which are applicable and should be applicable to all such organizations which hold or practice extremist views. And I believe that the PFI certainly has in the past indulged in violent activities, just as the Sanatan Sanstha has indulged in the most violent of activities. So many others like the Sri Ram Sene and so many other of these outfits.
Right.
So my point is that the better way to go about it is to use present laws and also to fight politically. Now, unfortunately, those who are in power do not have the confidence to fight it politically for the simple reason that they are encouraging the other side of the coin. Now, what do we see in Kerala? Retaliatory killings between the PFI and the RSS. The notification has talked about PFI killings, including of our comrade Abhimanyu, who was brutally murdered by the PFI, a young boy in a college in Kerala. But the retaliatory killings between RSS and PFI in Kerala seem to be a deliberate plan between these two forces to communally polarize Kerala society.
Ms. Karat.
Now, that is a horrible thing to happen. And I don't think, and my party does not believe, with past experience, that prohibiting an organization, and on the other hand, the political will that you display is not to uphold the Constitution, but only a very narrow sectarian ideology, is not going to help. See, if something helps to secularize, to make constitutional different processes in India, yes, that is certainly a way to go ahead. But unfortunately, that has not been the case, because banning of an organization...
Brinda ji, you have spoken about other organizations that should be banned too. Why is that?
Saying they should be banned. No, Tamanna. I said there are many extremist organizations who have a similar frame as the PFI, like the Sanatan Sansthan, so many others, except that they operate in the name of another religion. So how do we fight these organizations?
No. So my question is that when you are comparing PFI to Sanatan Sanstha and other organizations that, like you said, say they represent a different religion, aren't you reinforcing the identification of PFI with a minority community, in this case Muslims? Why the conflation? Why the comparison?
The question is, the issue here is there are a number of organizations in India who hold extremist views, whether they act in the name of this religion or that religion. There are such organizations in India. Now, in the past, such organizations have been banned, just as the RSS has been banned. What happened when the RSS was banned? It went underground and it continued working, and it continued to proliferate and build many other branches and organizations. So did a ban, even at that time, did it meet the purpose? No, it did not. It didn't happen. You ban the Maoists, what do we find? Has the ban worked? No, because the objective conditions for the growth of any particular ideology, unless you fight it politically as well as administratively, you're not going to solve the problem. So the issue here is, where you have a number of organizations in India who are competing with each other in extremist views, all happening in the name of this or that religion, it is extremely important for the government of the time to build an environment where the values of the Constitution are promoted, the values of democracy, of secularism are promoted at a political level, and it is this political fight which will isolate those forces. And along with that, where there is any violent activity, the strictest and strongest of actions must be taken. Now, for example, look at Kerala. After the raids on the PFI, there was the most shocking and unprecedented incidents of violence organized by the PFI in the name of protests in Kerala and throughout Kerala. The government of Kerala did not wait for a ban on the PFI. It didn't wait and see, oh, is the PFI going to be banned? No. It used the present legal framework to arrest, to identify, and to arrest all those people who indulged in violence in Kerala, trying to disturb peace and communal harmony in Kerala.
So your argument, ma'am, is that just a ban will not be enough. Well, can the ban be questioned on any legal ground? It seems very, very unlikely. Thank you so much, Brinda Karat, for speaking with us. And we've spoken to a variety of voices today on the show on this very big headline of the day.